Everybody. Today we're here to break down the NASCAR slate for the Cup Series race at Bristol tomorrow. It's been a long few weeks of NASCAR racing all week. I'm sorry I haven't been able to get out videos for all the races during the week, but I've had this job where I got to work like 15 hours a day, and it's just so hard to get them out. But that job should be slowing down some more, so hopefully soon we should be able to get these videos during the week. But for now, I still got the weekend slate, and today we're here to talk about the Cup Series race at Bristol. Bristol's one of my favorite tracks to watch races at. I'm really, really excited for this race, and I think there's some really good plays on this slate, and I think there's some plays that people are going to want to play that may not be as good as they think. So, before we get into the driver by driver, I always like to start out with track trends. At Bristol, there has been an average place differential of 7.34, so it's a good place differential track. 8.75 drivers on average lead per race at Bristol. The most laps led is 143rd, but the second most laps led is 118.5 on average. This is over the last 2 years at Bristol. So that means for lineup construction, you're going to want to have at least two dominators in your lineup if you want to have a winning lineup. And honestly, you might want to get a third dominator in there. And it's going to be hard. We're going to have to find some cheaper guys that can dominate. I believe there are definitely some plays out there who could. But 82.75 on average for third most laps led. That really tells you that really three dominators could be the key to have a winning lineup in this race. I'm not going to get into these stats as much because we have 6.5 drivers who advance 10 plus positions. So for lineup construction, I'm going to want to have at least two dominators and four drivers who I think can either advance 10 plus spots or can just advance enough to pay off their salary. The most laps led start per race is 6.5, or starts at 6.5, and the second most laps led starts at average at 9.25, and third is 6.25. So that tells me we want the drivers who are going to dominate this race are all going to start in the top 10. I don't expect any of them to not start in the top 10, and I also don't see any drivers that start outside the top 10 that I'm like, ooh, they could really lead some laps, and like I need to play them. So I don't see any difference here. I'm really excited to make lineups for this race. Bristol's one of my favorite tracks. I'm really excited to watch this race. Let's get into driver by driver. So first off, back to the top after a one race thing with Jimmy Johnson being the highest priced driver who did not pay off his salary. We have Kyle Busch at $12,500. It's warranted. I say it over and over again. He's best driver in NASCAR in my opinion. He's had some bad luck this year. I don't think Gibbs cars have been as fast this year either, so I think it's been holding him back. He had a really good run going at Charlotte before some stupid move by Ricky Stenhouse Jr. forced four wide on an earlier restart in the race. That caused Kyle Busch's tire to go down. He finished in the back, so that was unfortunate. But he was having a good run there. He was good at Charlotte. But for Bristol, it's a completely different track. Short track, only half a mile, where Charlotte's a 1.5 mile track. But it doesn't matter. Kyle Busch is still good. At Bristol, he has an average of 6.5, which ranks third among all drivers. This is all these stats are in the past 2 years. By the way, I don't want to get really deep back because there's so much overlap in NASCAR every year, so much change. At short tracks, though, Kyle Busch's best average finish in the field. So I mean that just really shows me that at Bristol and at the short tracks, Kyle Busch is always one of the best, and he is. I mean he's always running in the top five. Feels like. I mean he has an average of 6.5, but his average running position is high too. I mean he's got the sixth best average running position at Bristol and the third best at short tracks. I don't think Bristol's really his best short track. It's probably Richmond, but Bristol has still been a huge strength for Kyle Busch, and he's definitely a guy I can see dominating this race. I mean Kyle Busch is just so good. Gibbs has still been fast. They haven't been the fastest, but he's still a guy that I believe can dominate. Maybe not my favorite dominator pick just because of his price, and I feel like I can get one at a little bit of a discount we're going to talk about in a minute. But I really like Kyle Busch today. Quality passes, 42.25 at Bristol and 29.25 at short tracks. It's really good. Not the best, but it's up there. I mean, if you're running at the front the whole race, then you're probably not going to have as many quality passes anyway. Coming into this race, Kyle Busch has not been the best. He's got an average finish of third, but which is really, really good. And this is excluding the Charlotte race where he got sent to the back because I had to take out the bad data point set, so it's not all skewed. His average running position has been 11.7 though in the last 5 races, so that's not something I really want to see, but the finishes have been good. But the problem is I want the running position to be higher because I want him to dominate at $12,500. But I still like Kyle Busch today. He's a great dominator choice. I'm not ever going to say don't play him. I'm going to play some Kyle Busch. He's probably not going to be my highest owned driver. Probably not even going to be my highest owned dominator, but I'm going to play some Kyle Busch. He's just great at short tracks. He's good at Bristol. No reason not to. Up next, we have Kevin Harvick. Harvick starts 8th today. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned about Kyle Busch. Starts 7th, so there's also some place differential upside if he wins or finishes second. So there's always some points there that will help. Kevin Harvick starts 8th, same thing as Kyle Busch with a little bit of place differential upside as there. He's a track average of 10th, which ranks 9th. But at short tracks, Kevin Harvick is second best average, 6.9, which ranks second among all drivers in NASCAR. So it's sort of like Charlotte last week, where we saw Harvick was one of the best at the 1.5 miles, but for the most part at Charlotte, he wasn't that good. And in my opinion, it really showed, especially in the first race. Harvick was not running well the first race, and then at the end, all the pit stops, everything got all jumbled up, and then you saw Kevin Harvick finish 5th. But for the most part in that race, he was not running too well. The second race, however, Kevin Harvick's car was really fast, but it faded at the end. So you did see Harvick. You saw like both sides of Kevin Harvick there at Charlotte. It's interesting that the race he ran better, he finished worse, and the race he ran worse, he finished better. But hey, so I mean Harvick's good. He's been fast all year. I mean coming into this race, he's got an average finish of 4.2, an average running position of 6.84, and 40.6 quality passes. So there's no reason not to like Kevin Harvick here. He's a great dominator choice just because of how fast his car is, how good Harvick is, how good his car is. I love Harvick today. I'll be playing him as a dominator. Still not my favorite dominator. We're getting there. But up next we have Denny Hamlin, 11,600. I'm just never excited to play Denny Hamlin because he's always priced around Busch and Harvick and then like Elliott and Logano. And most tracks, I just like those guys better. And it's the same thing here. Denny Hamlin has 8.5 average finish at Bristol, which is really good, which ranks 7th. And at short tracks, he has an average finish of 7, which ranks 3rd. Average running position of 11.675, which ranks 8th. Average running position at short tracks of 8.708, which ranks 7th. 63.5 quality pass and 37.5 quality passes at short tracks. Coming in, he's running really well though. I mean, I took out the bad Charlotte race, which shouldn't. I mean, he was 9 laps down, 9 laps in the race, so he was screwed. But he's average finish of 2nd, ran really well at Darlington both races. He's coming in racing really well. Honestly, he's been the best Gibbs car. I mean, that shows. So, but I mean, I don't know. I just Hamlin at Bristol compared to Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick, I just think I'd rather play them. But I mean, I'm gonna play some Denny Hamlin. He starts 10th. That's more place differential upside, and he's Denny Hamlin at Bristol at a short track. He's still really good here. Definitely has dominator potential. It's gonna be hard to pair two of these three in lineups, but we're gonna be able to do it. We're gonna be able to figure it out. You're gonna have to. I mean, those are probably these. The next one I'm talking about are probably top 4 best dominator choices. So you're probably gonna want to pair 2 of these guys in your lineup. This is my favorite play today of the slate. Chase Elliott, still too cheap in my opinion. I mean, he's just been the best driver in NASCAR the past 5 races, as this shows. 3.5 average finish, and there's no wrecks, the Darlington wreck, but he was gonna win Darlington. He should have won Darlington, the second Darlington race. He should have won the 600, and then he won at Charlotte. He realistically, Chase Elliott could have won the last 3 races, and I really think that's how good his car has been. Hendrick has been fast, and Chase Elliott's been the best one. And now you get Bristol, where he's been really good. He's got a track average of 6.33, which ranks 2nd. At short tracks, an average of 7.1, which ranks 4th. And average running position at Bristol, which ranks 2nd. Average running position at short tracks, 8.43, which ranks 5th. So Chase Elliott at Bristol, really good. He's been on fire. The Hendrick Chevys have been just lightning fast this year. They've been the best cars, in my opinion, and everybody. I think, and you can get him cheaper than Hamlin, Harvick, and Busch. I really think that Chase Elliott has there's a lot of paths to Chase Elliott being the highest scoring driver this weekend at Bristol. I love Chase Elliott. I think he's a great play. I'm playing a ton of him. He's my favorite play right now. And we'll see if anything changes by tomorrow, but I really doubt it. He gets sent to the back or something. But for right now, Chase Elliott, my favorite dominator play on the slate. Joey Logano starts 3rd, so there's really not much place differential upside. It's the same thing for me in Charlotte. I was not excited to play Joey Logano just because of where he started at. And I mean, he just, at this track, he's just not as good as these guys that are right here. Now, I could definitely see Logano getting out to the early lead, or his teammate Keselowski. It's going to be one of those two. It's not going to be Almirola starting 2nd. So the early dominator points could go to Joey Logano, so I can see reasons for playing him. I mean, he's got a track average at 8, which ranks 6th. That's still good, and also ranks 6th in short tracks. And he's got a really good average running position, which ranks 5th at Bristol and 4th at short tracks. So Logano's a great play again, and he's probably going to be lower owned than these 3 or these 4 just because of, I think everyone thinks they're better drivers, which I don't know if that's necessarily true. And all of them have been running really well, and they have more chance to go up. So I think Logano's going to be really low owned, and I think he could be a really good play. You just got to hope that Logano doesn't lead a bunch of laps and then ends up not even finishing top 10. But I mean, he should be able to. Should be able to finish top 5 in all honesty. Up next we have Jimmy Johnson. All right, so now we're gonna get into a PD play. That's what Jimmy Johnson is. Johnson at Bristol. He's been done pretty solid past 2 years. Average finish of 10.25, that ranks 10th. Average finish at short tracks of 11.63, which ranks 10th. An average running position of 12.6, which ranks 10th. Everything ranks 10th. So we think Jimmy Johnson's going to finish 10th this week? Well, unfortunately, a 10th place finish isn't even going to pay off that salary of $10,200. Jimmy Johnson needs to finish top 9 to pay off his salary at 5x, and in all honesty, the guys around him are probably all going to 6x because they're going to lead laps. I don't think Jimmy Johnson's going to lead laps. I don't really want to play Jimmy Johnson. He's not the Hendrick car's been fast. Can Johnson finish top 5? Yeah, but do I think he's going to finish top 5? Probably not, just because of the way he's been at this track. And, like, in all honesty, all 5 of these drivers should finish ahead of Jimmy Johnson. They're better than him here. They start up closer to the front. I mean, I know that really doesn't play as much of a thing as you'd think, but, I don't know. I just don't think Jimmy Johnson is the guy here. I don't think he's the play here. I think people are going to want to play him because, one, they might have saw him so expensive last week, and there's just going to be, oh, Jimmy Johnson's cheap now. But he also starts 24th. People are going to want to play PD plays like him and Boyer. But Johnson at Bristol, not the best out of all these guys around him. And, I mean, it's going to take a lot to pay off that salary. Jimmy Johnson was like 9,100. Sure, go for it all day. I'd be playing a ton of Jimmy Johnson. But 10,200, if he was starting like 30th or back, yeah, that's a different story. But 24th, do I really think he's going to finish top 9? I mean, there's definitely past that, and I definitely understand the thought process, but I just don't think that is. And even if he finishes like 7th or 8th, he's really not doing that great, and he's not going to lead many laps compared to like guys like Logano, Elliott, Hamlin, all these guys. They all have better lap-led odds. All right, next is Clint Boyer, who I actually like better than Jimmy Johnson, and coming into this, I saw the salaries. I did not expect that, but Clint Boyer's been good at Bristol. And short tracks as a whole over the past 2 years. Track average is 7th. That ranks 4th overall. At short tracks, he has a track average of 7.9, which ranks 5th. Average running position of 8.275, which ranks 3rd. That's at Bristol. At short tracks, his average running position is 8.65, which ranks 6th. And then he's got 59.5 quality passes at Bristol and 36.8 at short tracks. So Clint Boyer starts 23rd. That's a lot of PD upside. I understand 9,800 is a lot to pay for Clint Boyer. But he's been really good here, and he's the same thing. You need a top 9 from him as well to pay off that salary. It sounds like, to me, it sounds crazy for me to say this, but in my opinion, I think Boyer should finish higher than Johnson this race. So if Boyer can get into like 7th place where his averages, he's going to pay off that salary, and I really don't expect Clint Boyer to be that highly owned. Just because Jimmy Johnson's right next to him, and people are going to see that and be like, oh, Jimmy Johnson's better, I'm going to play Jimmy Johnson, I'm not going to play Clint Boyer. I don't expect a lot of people to pair both of them, so I don't think Boyer's going to be that highly owned. I think he's sneaky, and I'm going to place him. He's not going to be one of my highest owned guys, but he's a top 10 driver. He's in top 5 in some aspects. He's been good at Bristol. Like, there's nothing I can say against him, and I'm never a guy who really is excited to play Clint Boyer, but he's been good here. Hopefully it just doesn't wreck out. Like, it just seems like he's been having bad luck and wrecking a lot recently, but there's a lot to like here about Clint Boyer. The upside's there. The upside's really, really there. I'm playing Clint Boyer this week. I don't think he's gonna be as highly owned. I'm really interested to see the ownership on Boyer and Johnson because I really want to see what people do with that. It's a great play in my opinion. He's my sneaky upside play of the week. I'm just, I'm not gonna like run out a ton of Clint Boyer lineups, but there's gonna definitely be some that like I'm running out. I'm like, okay, if Clint Boyer gets his top 7 finish and some of these other guys hit what they're supposed to hit, it's gonna be a great day. So, up next, Martin Truex Jr. This one's interesting to me. Truex at Bristol has been bad. Look at that. He's an average of 20th, which ranks 23rd. But that might just been the case of bad luck and stuff, because he's got an average running position of 12.03, which ranks 9th. Way better, still not great. I'm not really excited to play Truex this week. Could he get out and dominate? Yeah, he's Martin Truex Jr. But Martin Truex Jr. in the Gibbs cars haven't been as fast. So, I think if you're starting Truex, you want him to get out front early, because I think you got guys coming back in the pack or farther back that are just going to pass him. I just don't expect Truex getting out to the early lead here. He's a fine play. I'm never going to tell you not to play Martin Truex Jr. just because he's a great driver. But Gibbs as a whole hasn't not really looked that fast this year. and then you get a track where he's not even as like not that great at. If I'm playing Gibbs drivers, I'd rather play Busch and Hamlin this week. So it's just not my thing for Truex. I mean, coming in, he's been running well, 7.75 in the last 5, 10.44 running position, and 29.25 quality passes. I mean, it just doesn't feel like he's really the guy here, in my opinion. Brad Keselowski starts on the pole again. That's two random since this random draw thing. Actually, there's been 2 random draws, and Brad Keselowski's got the pole on both. That's kind of crazy, to be honest. The guy gets really lucky. But Bristol has not been a track that's been great to Keselowski in the past, at least finishing wise. In the past 2 years, he's got an average of 15th, which ranks 17th. But his average running position is 8.45, which ranks 4th, and I like that stat better than the finish because he starts on the pole, and you need someone's gonna get out and dominate the early portion of the laps. And I think Brad Keselowski starting on the pole is probably your best option there. You just gotta hope that he doesn't fade and fall back into his 15th average finish. But I don't think he will. I mean, he's a good driver. He just won at Charlotte last week. He's been having a pretty good year up to this point. 7.2 average finish in the last 5 races, 10.38 average running position. I mean, it's about the same as Truex, but I think Penske's been faster. Penske and Gibbs have been kind of even this year, honestly. I like Keselowski. Let's look at his and like for short tracks as a whole. Not based on Bristol. He's got the 8th best average finish at short tracks and the 2nd best average running position. So that average running position is really interesting, and I really like where it's at because that really tells me that Keselowski can probably hold his own up front for a long time. And he's cheaper than Logano, by a lot. Logano starts 3rd, Keselowski starts 1st, and it's a 1,600 difference. I'd rather play Keselowski. I think Keselowski's a good dominator choice. I mean, he's definitely. I don't think he's gonna win. I don't think he's gonna lead the most laps, but we talked about how you can find that 2nd or 3rd guy who leads a lot of laps earlier in track trends for lineup construction. I think Keselowski's one of them, and I don't really expect him to be too highly owned because of this, because he hasn't been so great at Bristol in the past. People just may not want to play Keselowski, but I'm excited to play Brad. Brad's been like one of my favorite drivers in NASCAR, but I just never feel like ever playing him in DraftKings is like a good play. But today I'm actually excited to play Brad Keselowski. So up next, 8,800, Alex Bowman, 8,800. This one's a tough one for me. Because Bowman, I mean, his numbers at Bristol and short tracks aren't that good. 12.75 average finish, which ranks 13th. At short tracks, he has a 14.45 average finish, which ranks 15th. Average running position at Bristol of 15.35, which ranks 14th. 16.733 average running position at short tracks, which ranks 17th. But he does have 48.75 quality passes and 26.75 at short tracks. Coming into this race, Bowman's been like the bearer of bad luck. I mean, like, let's go back to the last 3 races. Alex Bowman had probably the second. Alex Bowman might have won the second Charlotte race, in all honesty. Him and Elliott were both really, really fast, and Bowman just nailed the wall. I killed my lineups. I was so disappointed. That one ruined my night when Bowman hit the wall. But so the average finish doesn't say anything. And okay, actually, I didn't even talk about the other 2 races. At Darlington, he was running top 10 all race, had a bad pit stop, and fell back in the pack. That was the restart that Chase Elliott wrecked, and then it started raining. So Bowman was stuck in 17th. He didn't even get a chance to drive his way back up through the field. Ruined that one. The first Charlotte race, he was up in the top 5 the whole race, led the most laps, and on the last restart, I don't know what happened, but he just fell all the way back to 20th and killed everything. So his average finish has not looked good. But look at his average running position. It's 6.92. That's the 2nd best behind Harvick in NASCAR. Bowman's been great this year, and now you're getting him at 8,800 with Hendrick that's been really fast, and he's starting 11th. Alex Bowman needs a top 6 to pay off his salary. If you're telling me Alex Bowman can't finish top 6 just by the way he's been running this year and how fast Hendrick has been, I know he hasn't been so great at Bristol, but now you're getting a guy who's he's led the most laps in NASCAR this year at 8,800. So you're telling me Bowman can't get up front and even lead laps? That's crazy in my opinion. I'm playing Alex Bowman this week. It's a tough one, like just because he hasn't been so good here, but just of how Hendrick and him have been running as a whole, it just really for 8,800 for Alex Bowman is just too cheap. I mean, it's just too cheap. The next one I also think is too cheap still. Ryan Blaney, who DraftKings had priced him down the last 2 races to below 8K, which was ridiculous, and he smashed both races. I'm pretty sure he was in the optimal lineup in both races. Of course he was, because he was 7,900 and he's starting like kind of far back. All right, you have him starting 4th this race. I think Blaney, I talked about you need cheap dominators. I think Blaney's a cheap dominator. Starts up high so he could get to the front early, but He has a track average 7th. That ranks 4th out of everybody. At short tracks as a whole, it hasn't been as great, but Bristol's been great for Blaney. 4.85 average running position, which is the best in NASCAR in the last 2 years. So Ryan Blaney at short tracks, maybe not the best, but Bristol's been really, really good to Ryan Blaney. And he's got a win coming for him, man. I mean, he could, again, I keep saying this, he's had 2 races this year where he was going to win or finish second, and stupid stuff's happened. He finished second in the first short race, third in the second one. He's got a win coming for him. Blaney's got a win coming for him. And Bristol, why not? He's been fast all year. In my opinion, he's been he hasn't won the races, but he's been the fastest Penske car all year. Blaney's been good. Bristol's been good for him. Why not? He's got an average running position of 12.55 coming in the last 5 races, because that's going to be, not necessarily skewed, but Darlington's a really bad track for Ryan Blaney. He's just been bad there his whole career, so these 2 Darlington races, which kills him, but the 2 Charlotte races, he's looked really, really good. Average finish of 10.75, which again is from Darlington. But 33.75 quality pass is good. Comes as my 8th ranked driver. Ryan Blaney, I mean, I can see him dominating this race. I can see him leading a ton of laps. He's definitely, I feel like you can probably fit a lineup. Chase Elliott, Hamlin, and Blaney, and that's a great lineup. And then you got to go find some cheap guys we're going to talk about. There's some good cheap value today. But Blaney, I like Ryan Blaney a lot. Even just doing Blaney, Bowman, and Chase Elliott could be the winning lineup. All right, Matt Kenseth, I'm not excited about Matt Kenseth. He just hasn't looked good. These are stats from the last 2 years, which he was running in a Roush car and just really not looking good, so I don't really care about those. But I'm caring more about what Matt Kenseth's done since he's been in that car. First Darlington race was really good, but still, his average finish is 22.25, and average running position of 20.8 and 17 quality passes, and he starts 14th. I'm not playing Matt Kenseth. It could bite me in the butt, but I'm not really I just don't. Matt Kenseth just hasn't been looking so great, and he's at 8,100. It's too expensive for someone starting 14th, who hasn't been good. Tyler Reddick, no data for these races, but Tyler Reddick starts 21st. He's 7,900, and Tyler Reddick has been going off this year. He's been making that RCR team who's looked bad the past few years look really, really good. He's got an average finish of 10.5 in the last 5, average running position of 13.78 in the last 5, and 37.75 quality pass in the last 5. Tyler Reddick needs a top 12 to 5x his salary. A top 12 for Tyler Reddick, who has been averaging 10.5 coming in. RCR's been really fast. Tyler Reddick looks like a great play to me. PD play for Tyler Reddick to get a top 12 to pay off his salary. Tyler Reddick can definitely do that. He's had a few top 10s. He was running really well at Charlotte. Second race, I don't really know what happened, but he fell off towards the end. But he's still a top 10. He could be a top 10 car. There's no doubting that Tyler Reddick can be a top 10 car. All right, William Byron at 7,700 starts 13th. Another one I'm just not super excited to play. He just hasn't been good at Bristol over the past 2 years. 19.5 average finish at Bristol, that ranks 22nd. 17.36 average running position, which ranks 19th. 17.65, that was just at short tracks as finish. 17.65 average running position, which ranks 20th. 17.85 average running position at short tracks, which ranks 18th. And he just hasn't been good. And for William Byron to pay off his salary, he needs a top 8. I know Hendrick's been really fast this year, but Byron's the one that hasn't looked as great as the others. And I know it's just because he's really young and he's still getting to know things. And I feel like a win is coming William Byron's way, probably this year, but I don't think it's going to be at Bristol. So, Bubba Wallace, starts 36. Bubba Wallace, 8,300 last time, and I did not play him. If I made a YouTube video, it would have been all about fading Bubba. And the whole race, I was just like, crap, Bubba's doing really good. And he wrecked and saved me. But Bubba Wallace has looked good this year. I'm so happy to finally say that Bubba Wallace has looked good this year. Not great, but good. And now he's 7,500 starting 36. I like that way better than his 8,300 last time. He's been solid at Bristol, not bad. 16.66 average finish, that ranks 18th. Average finish of 19th at short tracks, which ranks 21st. Average running position of 16.833, which ranks 17th. Average running position of 20.744, which ranks 22nd. The 13.66 quality passes I don't really like as much, but coming into this race, Bubba's got an average finish of 18.6 in the last 5 and an average running position of 16.74 in the last 5. That's pretty good. He only needs to finish top 21 to pay off that salary, and he's been doing that all year, and he's been doing that at Bristol for a while now. So, he looks good. He may not be, the best upside play, but he's a good cash play for playing cash lineups, and he's definitely someone who could finish top 15. He was running in the top 10 for a lot of that race at Charlotte, so I don't see why he couldn't do it again. I like Bubba today. I think he's going to be a good play. I don't think he's a great play, but I think he's a good play. If you're needing, someone in this salary range, I like playing Bubba. I like playing him better than Byron. I like playing him better than Ricky Stenhouse. I even probably like playing him better than Christopher Bell, to be honest, just because Bell of the inexperience. All right, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. starts 16th. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. ran 4th at Charlotte in that 47 car. Been terrible all year, and he ran 4th. That's awesome, man. I wish I played more of him. Played a little bit of him, but I'm always so wary playing Ricky Stenhouse just because he wrecks, and he screwed Kyle Busch over, so that showed. But at Bristol, he's been pretty good. Regardless, this wasn't better equipment, but it's not like a huge downgrade. It's not like Daniel Suarez. He's got an average finish of 14th, which ranks 14th, an average position of 17.11, which ranks 18th. That's at short tracks. Average running position of 16.266, which ranks 16th at Bristol. Average running position of 17.94, which ranks 19th. Ricky Stenhouse coming in this race has been solid. Nothing too great. Average finish of 15th. Average running position of 20.8 and 20.5 quality passes. To pay out the salary, Ricky Stenhouse needs a top 11, though. And do we really think Ricky Stenhouse is going to put up back-to-back top 10 finishes? I'm not really thinking so. I mean, to get a top 11 for Stenhouse in that 47 car, it's got to be a lot that's got to happen, man. I mean, I know he ran so well in that second Charlotte race, but Stenhouse has been good at Charlotte his whole career. Like, he had really good averages coming into Charlotte. Bristol, it's been good, but not great. Like, he averages less than what he needs to get the pay off the salary. So I'm probably really not going to play any Stenhouse, to be honest. Could screw me, but I mean, he's got, the wreck downside to him, and I don't know. It's just not the guy I'm looking forward to playing. Christopher Bell starts 35th. No data for Christopher Bell in a Cup Series because he hasn't raced, but coming into this race, he's got an average finish of 17.8, average running position of 17.66, and 25 quality passes. He needs a top 21 to pay off the salary. So that's better than his average, or his average has been better than that. So, I mean, I definitely see reasons to play for Christopher Bell, but it's the same thing as Bubba Wallace. The upside to get like a top 15 probably isn't there, but the floor is there. They should both pay off their salaries. I don't see why neither of them will pay off their salaries other than a wreck. And that is something I'm definitely worried about for more Christopher Bell than Bubba Wallace, is Christopher Bell's inexperience in the Cup Series, and he's wrecked a good bit this year. And Bristol's a place that breeds a lot of wrecks, so I'm not really going to load up on Christopher Bell, but I'm going to play some. I mean, he's someone you got to play. Matt DiBenedetto. If anyone watched Bristol last year, Matt DiBenedetto, everyone wanted him to win. Finished second. He was leading a ton of laps at the end, but Denny Hamlin passed him at the end. But I'm just not excited to play DiBenedetto. I mean, yeah, the averages probably don't really tell the story because of the team he's been on, but it's just him starting 9th place. Like, that's where I sort of expect him to hover around. And, I mean, coming in, DiBenedetto's had a good year, but it's still an average of 13.6. That's less than 9. And 13.42 of average running position. That's also less than 9th place. So I expect him to drop back a little bit. I don't expect him to have a repeat of last year at Bristol. I don't. I could be wrong, but I just don't see it happening. Eric Jones. Eric Jones is 7,000. This is another one. This is like Bowman for me. It's a tough one because Jones, his whole career, past 2 years, not good at Bristol. 19.25 average finish, which ranks 20th. 17.8 average finish at short tracks, which ranks 20th. But, he's had a good average running position of 13.6, which ranks 13th. And if you remember last year at Bristol, Eric Jones was actually leading a good portion of that race, and then he hit the wall, and it ruined it for him. So that was disappointing. So he showed that he has potential here. He's racing Gibbs. They're fast. They've been good at Bristol historically. Toyotas in general. And, coming into this race, he's got an average finish at 8th. Look at all the guys he's around and how much better coming into this race on the season Eric Jones has been. To pay off his salary, Eric Jones only needs a top 12. That's it. It's someone who hasn't been that great at Bristol, but it's also Eric Jones. He's a good driver. He's in better equipment and, in my opinion, a better driver than DiBenedetto, Bell, Stenhouse, Bubba Wallace, who are all priced above him, and Matt Kenseth too. Reddick and Byron, we'll see, but Reddick and Byron are probably on the same level as Eric Jones. But so he's just too cheap. That's why I want to play him a top 12, and a top 10. That's what he's been averaging over the last 5 races. So why? I took out Charlotte because he had a penalty that screwed him. But he was running well in that race too. So why is Eric Jones so cheap? I'm sort of just trying to figure that out. Why Eric Jones is 7,000 on DraftKings? But hey, I'm gonna play Eric Jones. Ryan Newman, 6,800 for Ryan Newman is still too cheap. That's another guy that DraftKings needs to start pricing up more. I don't understand why he's not cheap, or why he's too cheap. But that's fine. I'll play Ryan Newman. Starts 17th at Bristol. He's got a track average of 10.5, which ranks 11th. He's got a average at short tracks of 11.9, which ranks 11th. He's got an average running position of 13, which ranks 12th. He's got an average running position of short tracks of 14.1, which ranks 12th. And he's 48.5 quality passes and 32.5 quality passes at short tracks. And coming into Bristol, Newman's been running well. He's got an average finish of 11.5. The average running position of 16.85 isn't great, but he's been finishing well. He only needs a top 13 to pay off his salary. Top 13 for Ryan Newman? Are you kidding me? It seems like a given, honestly. There's no reason for why Ryan Newman should not finish in the top 13. He's too cheap. I don't understand DraftKings pricing on Ryan Newman. Ever since he came out, it just had him priced down. He's definitely a 7,300 driver. Like, he should definitely be priced above Matt DiBenedetto. I don't understand that at all. But that's fine. Eric Almirola, don't ignore this. He's wrecked 3 of the last 4 races at Bristol. I'm not playing him as starting second. It's just that simple. He's just not someone who's like great here. He's not going to dominate. He starts too high. Don't play Eric Almirola. He's a fade this week. He'll probably be really low owned anyway. No one's going to play him. Daniel Suarez, don't play Daniel Suarez. That's all I'm saying. He's not good. Car's trash. He's too expensive. 6,500 for 96 car. Come on now. Austin Dillon's cheap. Okay, Austin Dillon's cheaper. Like, it's ridiculous that Austin Dillon's cheaper than Daniel Suarez. And I'm not even an Austin Dillon guy. I think Austin Dillon's trash, but he's better than Daniel Suarez right now, and he's in way better equipment than Daniel Suarez. He's got an average finish of 14th, which ranks 14th in Bristol. Average at short tracks 15.4, which ranks 16th. Average running position of 12.66, which ranks 11th at Bristol. Average running position at short tracks of 16.472, which ranks 15th. 58 quality passes and 34.44 at short tracks. That's really, really good, and I like that. Austin Dillon coming in has actually been running well. He ran really well both Charlotte races. Average finish in the last 5 of 13.25. Average running position of 13th. And 33 quality passes. He needs the top 16 to pay off that salary. I think Austin Dillon can definitely do that. And Austin Dillon is not a guy I'd like to ever play. I'm just not someone because they usually qualify high, but now you get Austin Dillon at 20th at a track he's actually pretty good at. There's not a lot of tracks that Austin Dillon's actually pretty good at, but this is one of them. Top 16 is definitely in the cards for Austin Dillon, and honestly, even a top 10 is possible. So I like Austin Dillon here. He's too cheap at 6,300. I don't get why he's cheaper than Suarez. It just makes no sense. I don't know. DraftKings pricing has been interesting the last few weeks. So that's to say the least. Like Austin Dillon, good cheap play. Like, if you want to play these two dominators, you're gonna need to find guys down here, and Austin Dillon is one of those guys. Up next, we have Ty Dillon at 6,100. Now, that sounds like a lot to pay for Ty Dillon, but he's actually been good at Bristol. Like, it's weird. Like, the Dillon brothers are good here. He's got not great, but for the car he's been running in the past 2 years, Ty Dillon's been good. Average finish at 18.66, that ranks 19th. Average at short tracks of 20.45, which ranks 22nd. Short tracks I'm not as excited about. Average rank position of which ranks 22nd. So it's nothing special to be excited about. And he hasn't been running like great coming into this, but he needs a top 21 to finish to pay off that salary. His average is better than that. So it's in the cards. I really kind of wish he was a little bit cheaper, and I'd rather just play his brother because I think his brother probably has more upside. But he's a fine play. He's not going to have a ton of upside, but if you're playing a cash lineup, Ty Dillon's a good one to throw in there. Starts 29th, a good floor. He's got a little bit of upside, but I'm not really expecting that to hit. Ryan Preece at 6,000 starts 33rd. I think people are going to want to play him because he starts 33rd, but he's bad here. 21.5 average finish, ranks 24th. 21.33 average at short tracks, which ranks 24th. 21.6 average running position, ranks 23rd. 21.25 average running position at short tracks, which ranks 23rd. 0 quality passes at Bristol. Coming in, he's been bad this year. Ryan Preece had a terrible start to the year. 21 average finish, 21.45 average running position. He needs a top 23 to pay off his salary, but I don't even really know if he can do that. It can happen, but if Ryan Preece gets 23rd and 5x his salary, but Austin Dillon finishes 14th and 5.5 to 6x is his salary, I mean, what's the point of even playing Ryan Preece? I just don't. I don't see really the upside there. I don't get the play. It's hard to play Ty Dillon and Ryan Preece when I have Austin Dillon and honestly Chris Buescher too, right around their price that I could just play instead. So Chris Buescher's my next guy. Chris Buescher's 5,800. That's wild, man. He has not been running well. At Bristol, he's been okay. He has average finish at ranks 21st. I mean, he's just not been anything special. And he hasn't been good this year either. He's been not looking good in that 17 car. He looked better in a 37, which is crazy to me. But Chris Buescher, to pay off his salary, needs a top 17, and that's definitely in the cards for Chris Buescher. He's still a good driver. He's still in a better car than a lot of these guys around him. So I don't see any reason why not to play him. He's not someone I'm excited about, but he has more upside than Priest and Dillon and LaJoy. Maybe not Austin Dillon, but he's got more upside. I don't hate it. He's not someone I'm excited to play, but I don't hate it. And you're going to have to find some of these cheap guys to play. Corey LaJoy, don't play him. I know he starts 32nd. Corey LaJoy needs a top 23 to pay off his salary. Look at all these numbers. 25, 27, 31, 28. It's just not good. 24 on the average of the year. It's just not good for Corey LaJoy. I wouldn't play Corey LaJoy today. Cole Custer starts 22nd. I don't have any data for him because he's a rookie, no Cup Series data. He needs a top 19 to pay off his salary. He's been averaging 18.4 in the last 5 and an average running position of 20.6. He's been running better as of late. He started the year really bad. That's in the cards, and Cole Custer's 5,600. He's cheaper than Corey LaJoy. And he's in a Stewart Haas car. So he's in a good car. That's a good team to be driving for. So top 19 is definitely in the cards for Cole Custer. I'm going to play some Cole Custer. I don't see why not. John Hunter Nemechek. John Hunter Nemechek's been such a surprise as well as he's been running in that car. He's a good driver, I know that, but the car is not one that you really want. I'm just not excited to play him. He needs a top 16 in that car. I know he's got an average finish of 15.75 in the last 5 and an average running position of 18.8 in the last 5. It's really good. That's really, really good. And that shows you that he can finish in that top 16 to pay off that salary. I'm just still not confident about it. I'm just not confident that he's going to be able to do it in that car. If you want to play John Hunter Nemechek, he's going to be low owned. Go for it. I don't see any reason why to say that's a terrible play. I just don't think the upside's really there. But you do need to find cheap guys. I'm going to rank these below these. Everyone, Austin Dillon and down. I'm going to go Austin Dillon first. I'm going to go Cole Custer second. Then probably Chris Buescher, Ty Dillon, Nemechek, and then Priest. So, it's just, I don't, in this, range, I just don't think that John Hunter Nemechek is the best play. Now, if it's between playing John Hunter Nemechek and Cole Custer, and that 100 extra salary gets you just another guy that you need, gets you to Hamlin or something instead of having to play Elliott. That's not bad, but you know what I'm saying, just to get you another driver that you want, then do it. But if not, if you have the salary, I'd rather play Custer. Okay, I don't pull Yaley, McLeod, Hill, Golding, Smithley, Half, Gase, Curry. All guys just run around the back. They're not worth playing. But Michael McDowell's 4,900. I don't know why he's still down there. I know Michael McDowell has not been good at this racetrack. Just look at the numbers. And he has not been good this year, but he's in way better equipment than these guys around him. It just makes no sense. You're going to want him to advance some spots, which I don't know if Michael McDowell is going to be able to do, but if he finishes 25th, he's going to pay off that salary, or at least going to come close, and it's going to give you so much salary relief. He's an okay play, low upside play. Probably nothing special is going to happen with him, but he's not going to kill you. At 4,900, you have a guy that's priced around guys that right around the back for someone that actually has top 20 upside because of the car he's driving. I just don't know why. DraftKings pricing this first race is a little interesting to me. It's going to be interesting lineup building. I haven't built any lineups yet. But that's really all I got to say for today. I'm really excited for this race. I think there's some good upside plays, good lineups. I think there's some good guys that probably won't be as high owned, like Eric Jones or Austin Dillon will probably be high owned. But even Chase Elliott, I just love. There's some guys I just love here. Clint Boyer could be low owned, could be the one that wins someone a tournament, and hopefully me or someone that watches. Those are the only people I want to win. But yeah, I'm really excited for this race. I hope you guys have a great good luck. Hopefully this video really helped. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like. Please hit that subscribe button. Please turn on the notification bell. All those things really help me reach more people. That's what I'm trying to do. It's just a new YouTube channel getting started. Hopefully by football season we're gonna have some growth, and football season we're gonna take a big growth. I hope you guys all really enjoyed this. I hope everyone has a great rest of the weekend, great Sunday, and good luck.